Okay, everybody, let's take it from the top.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hi-ho, everybody, and welcome back to D Plus Us Weekly, the show where we talk about exclusive shows on Disney Plus each and every week. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin Tennell, Griffin D. Patton. With me, as always, is the wonderful, the amazing Mr. Mitch George. It is a treasure to be with you here today.
Wow. I got nothing. Just go.
Yeah, that's right. I'm bringing the puns back.
God damn it.
No, we're talking about National Treasure. Mitch, how are you feeling?
I feel similarly to when we recorded last week. This feels like a National Treasure series, and I'm here for a National Treasure series. I'm not expecting, an incredible piece of literary fiction, but I'm having fun. I'm really enjoying this.
No, we are talking about
I definitely didn't forget that this was coming out this week and go, oh, when I noticed it on Disney Plus.
Look, I have been knee deep in watching some other stuff right now, particularly Emily in Paris on Netflix. Go watch it.
Is that new season out yet? No, right?
It came out yesterday.
Oh God, I gotta tell Carmen
I am almost done with it. It is stupid drama at its finest. I love this show. But no, I was excited for checking out this week's episode, and I really do have a good time with it. Particularly, I love anything that revolves around music, so having a weirdly awesome Elvis episode was really fun for me. Let me
not where I expected them to go, but Elvis was a Mason is the whole idea behind them figuring out that it's Elvis. Which okay,
I thought it was great. It's that perfect National Treasure stupidity. No, this is episode 3 we are talking about today. It is called Graceland Gambit. Let me hit y'all with that synopsis. After Jess discovers her late mother's involvement in the treasure hunt, Jess becomes even more determined to unravel the secrets her mother never told her about their past. She enlists the help of her friends and Liam. I like that Liam is singled out there. This newly formed team of treasure hunters bonds as they decipher a clue handed down by the Masons and embark on a risky mission that sends them to a mansion once owned by that's a typo, by an American icon. Disney Plus, I'm reading this off of your website. This is the official description on the website. Fix your typos.
I mean, you can just tell how much effort went into this by the amount of proofreading they did before they posted the episode.
Yeah. No, I love this episode. Of course, folks, we're going full spoilers for the show. We don't do a plot recap on this, so if you do want a plot recap, go watch our other stuff. Or just go watch the episode and then come on back, because we're just chilling and having a good time talking about some National Treasure. Full spoilers starting now. I do.
R.I.P. Nate.
Yeah,
he fell in a hole.
Because they just straight up off to dude this week.
Which it was a blink and you miss it moment where I did, and then we get to the end of the episode and they're mourning. I'm like, what did I miss?
Dude, I
realized I was wrapping gifts while watching this, and I missed about 2 minutes of this episode.
This episode was stressful, man.
Yeah,
this whole heist was stupid stressful. And maybe it was the extra secret room, but I was feeling it. I had to pause halfway through to just take a breath. It was a fun time. It was it should not have been as fun as it was, but yeah, they are trying to break into Graceland to initially, take a look at this guitar because they think it has a clue, and then it's not actually the guitar; it's the record next to the guitar.
Apparently, this room does exist.
Yeah. I mean, that's National Treasure's thing, man. It's hey, we're going to take stuff that exists, but make it ridiculous and make it National Treasure.
Well, and I mean, this definitely felt like a heist ripped directly out of one of the first 2 films of, or I guess the only 2 films. I don't know why I said first 2, because we're going to get a third one. No, we're not. No, I mean, this felt very much like any of the heists that they pulled off. And I love some of the callbacks as well. Once you have, all of the other friends enter the secret room at Peter Sadusky's house. It's oh, look, this is where they're using all the props from the movies. Cool. Because you get the the pipe and stuff. It's okay. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
They had to give it to us at some point.
Yeah. It does feel a little in your face.
Oh, it's very in your face. It is blatant and obvious. Also, it does look like we might be getting a third National Treasure movie.
We shall see.
Apparently, they sent a script off to Nicolas Cage, and he's looking it over. But yeah, things are looking good. Things are looking good. We might get a National Treasure 3.
Meet for Free Small Spaces.
And sorry
the most
for the ad
convenient.
that's now randomly playing, because I totally was looking through entertainment. No, yeah,
I just found the same thing. Jerry Bruckheimer teases that a third film may happen, but also Jerry Bruckheimer's also teased multiple Pirates projects that didn't happen. So who friggin' knows?
Look, I feel pretty good if they're sending a script over to Nick Cage.
I mean, he also got the script for the Unbreakable Talent massive thing that came out that I wanted to see and never did. So
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
that's the one.
Great movie.
I know, but it's just not available to stream here. I tried to watch it through one of our streaming services. It was only available in French. I'm not watching that movie in French.
That's the most
Just
Canadian complaint ever.
No, the most Canadian complaint would be like the road was closed because of some geese or snow. Like that just doesn't happen.
What about some moose?
I mean,
That's the only
those
stereotype
things,
I know.
the moose are not to be trifled with. All right, when
Oh,
it
no,
comes
you
to
don't fuck
moose,
with moose.
they real big and they will mess you up real bad.
Moose, straight up terrifying. No, a couple of like the little minor details before we talk about like the major plot points in this. I love that, like, yeah, Riley Poole has a podcast.
Well, I love that they're starting to tease Riley because we all know that he's going to show up at some point in this show. Who knows when? But no, it'll be good to see when that happens and how it ties into all of this. I feel like I can't remember the name of the character. I go to the Oren. Oren's character is kind of like we've got a wider cast here because in the original we had the three, the male lead, the female lead. You had Riley being the tech guy, and we've kind of got those roles dispersed amongst all of the new team members. You've got, Ethan, who's just nervous and worried about everything. You've got Liam, the love interest, Jess, the brains behind everything, Tasha, the tech person, and Oren, who's the conspiracy theorist. So I do like that it's not, Ben Gates, who was the tactician and the conspiracy theorist and the lead. Like
We got bits of everything here. And
there wasn't enough character diversification, whereas here you're getting more characters that are more well-rounded people because they're not having to wear too many hats.
Now I mean this in both the best way as well as the worst way. It's eerily CW cast like.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I truly mean that in the best and worst way.
This is the Riverdale of National Treasure.
Like, it reminds me of that line from Supergirl of looking at you, that you group feels like the weird, perfectly racially diverse cast of a CW TV show, which they said to make fun of the CW because it was Supergirl on the CW DC stuff is the whole thing. But no, I do love this cast and I love having that breakup between all of them, and especially we've seen it, saw it in the first couple episodes of just how they vibe together. Saw it even more in this episode on their way to Graceland in the van. And like how they all panic like crazy when there's just a car behind them.
Yeah.
Which, the way they were setting that up, I totally thought it was going to be the FBI agent was following them.
That would have been interesting. But at the same time, she's got her whole subplot of trying to figure out if there's something more to Peter Sadowski's death, which I think is the right call. And then eventually you bring those two plot threads together and it interweaves with the Billy story and finding out who the mole is, which is 100% Ethan, because Ethan's the worst.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Agent Ross's story is going to be like heavily interwoven with Jess by the end of this. Like, I would not be surprised if it's like, hey, come work with us on a trial basis or some shit at the end of this episode or at the end of the series.
I think what I really like here is like, I forgot where I was going with my thought. God damn it. My brain just stopped working for a second. Yeah.
They definitely have some moments in there.
What was I going to say? God damn it. I got nothing. Keep going.
Okay, I can keep on. No, talking about like the bus scene and seeing them, but like I think it really shined through having these different character archetypes in the heist itself. Seeing everyone kind of do their own thing while Jess is just ridiculously antsy because she can't do anything until she eventually kind of explodes and goes off and does her own thing. Or Tasha's tech support, or and just being like the charisma dude. The only one that doesn't really have a massive role, is Ethan.
Yeah, he's the one that just worries about Jess.
Mm-hmm. And now we have Liam doing that too, though.
Yeah, and that's gonna drive a wedge between them and force Ian to go to the bad guys to give them information because maybe it'll keep Jess safe or something.
That he's already doing it. He's already a mole for them.
Still wondering how he bugged Liam's computer to get the data to send to Billy, but I'm sure they might or might not explain it.
I mean, could be less that they bugged the data and more he bugged the room when they were.
Oh yeah, that's true too.
I mean, there's 1,000 ways that this could go.
That honestly makes a lot more sense than where my brain was going. So,
but
I'll
honestly,
go with your theory.
I'm kind of disappointed that they're doing the mole thing. Like the mole thing is kind of boring, kind of played out.
Yeah, I mean they've got 10 hours to work with here, right? Compared to the hour and a half to 2 hours you had in each of the feature films. So they've got more room to lean into some of these tropes and then flip them on their head, which is where I hope they're going with some of the things like the mole, like the, lovers quarrel and all of that between like the love triangle between Jess, Ethan, and Liam. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm liking it. I'm having fun. I'm engaged, except for when I forget to look at the screen and Nate falls in a hole. But other than that, like I'm in.
You can blame that on wrapping the gifts.
We had so many gifts to wrap. The problem of getting married is you have to buy gifts for 2 families. It's too much.
I got all that crap done like 2 weeks ago. Now I'm just chilling.
I should have. I'm kicking myself for not having more of it done. I've got like 3 or 4 gifts to wrap. I got all the wrapped gifts done, thankfully. Now it's just putting crap in bags and throwing some tissue paper on top and be like, I'm done. Put a tag on it. Let's go.
I was also going to say, like, the last gift I got to, I was like, screw it. Threw it in the bag.
I went to the dollar store like on Tuesday. I'm like, we need bags for some of these. I have one really awkward gift that's like, I don't know, shoulder widths long. I'm like, I'm not wrapping this thing. It's long and narrow. It's going in a bag. So I got one of those Santa sacks, and the Santa sack wasn't big enough for it either. So I'm like, all right, can I at least get this up to a point on the gift where it at least covers the label of what it is? And then I've still got like a good, 18 inches sticking out. I'm like, I don't care. It's good enough. It covers the label.
Yeah, the one I put in bag was like, I know he doesn't listen to my podcast, so I feel totally fine saying all this. Was I got him like some coffee. And I was like, all of the boxes I have are like going to not be good for this.
Yeah.
We're putting this in a bag, which for what it's worth, folks, if you're ever in Portland, go to Wonderwood Springs. It is a fantastic coffee shop here in the Portland area.
What if you don't drink coffee?
They have other stuff. They have tea and stuff.
I think I need to start drinking coffee. I'm falling asleep more and more as my days go on.
As I have been bouncing between a Diet Dr. Pepper and a coffee. That's where we're
Okay, that's a pet peeve I have. Diet Dr. Pepper is not nearly as available as it needs to be here. I was able to find a case of Diet Mountain Dew, which is great. But Diet Dr. Pepper is the one that hits because it basically just tastes like the Dr. Pepper, but it's not Dr. Pepper levels of sweet.
Dr. Pepper is the best diet soda.
100%. And it just needs to be everywhere. Dr. Pepper, if you're listening, put your things in more stores, please. I need it. I need it in my life.
No, I buy the stuff in bulk.
Every time I see it, I buy 3 or 4 cases. You have to, because you don't see it very often.
No, I buy this at Costco. So I get
You get yours at Costco? That's some bull. We just get Pepsi and Diet Pepsi and stuff.
Because I go there, I buy it, and I don't have to buy soda again for 2 months.
Yeah, see that's the dream, is to find it at Costco. But no, we just get the regular sodas.
Next time I'm there, I'm gonna send you a picture of them.
I'm gonna punch my screen when you do it, just so you know. So if you want me to break a device, you go ahead and do that.
Okay. You remember that because I'm going to Costco probably next week.
I thought you were gonna say like tomorrow, and I was just gonna wish you
Yeah,
good
because
luck.
I'm going to go to Costco right before Christmas.
Yeah, right after a freak ice storm that's left your city destabilized.
Yeah, that's a fair point. No, I avoid all retail in the week ahead of Christmas,
As you should.
with the exception of like the grocery store.
Even that has been nuts. Like I did my grocery shopping at like 9:30 on Tuesday
Dude, I
because
went
there
to
was
the
no one there.
I had to go to the grocery store and I had to go to the liquor store yesterday, and the internet was out on the street,
Oh,
so no one could use their card readers because it's all
nope.
internet based, and it was the most chaotic I have ever seen that grocery store. And it's like that's already a chaotic ass grocery store because it's a grocery store. I hate
Yeah.
going to the goddamn grocery store.
I love now like you can do the order the groceries in the app and then just go and they put it in the trunk of your car and you leave. Like that is peak
It's great, but it
grocery
feels so
laziness.
weird
And
doing it.
it does, but it's also liberating. No, I'm not going to spend an hour and a half looking at avocados.
Also, if they do that, that means they bag it, and I don't use my reusable bags.
So, okay, this is going to be an aside, but as of
And
January,
aside, as
or
we're talking about groceries,
as of this week, I think Canada has banned all single-use plastics for retail. So, plastic bags, plastic cutlery, straws, cups, lids, all banned. So they're working on alternatives. Companies have a period of time where they need to switch over to these. So a lot of the retailers have switched to you have to buy reusable bags from them. But for cases like that, businesses are trying to figure out ways of, okay, let's rethink how we bag these things. And rather than bagging it, they're boxing it, where they're putting them in the large boxes that the produce comes in and just putting those boxes straight in your car. Or they're asking you to bring bins, or they're providing you with bins, assuming you're going to bring the empty bins back to the store.
That's pretty
And they'll just keep trading out empty bins for filled bins, which I think is another reasonable expectation.
see, here's the difference
for
between
your
y'all and
customer.
us is that they trust you. They don't trust
Oh,
us.
yeah, we're Canadians.
They
Everyone
shouldn't
trusts
trust us. We do not have a track record of being trustworthy.
Well, I mean, it should just be one of those things of like, similarly to, I don't know how y'all's liquor situation works, but here you can return empties for a small refund on the bottle because they reuse the bottles and the cans and they
Yeah, we have the can bottle return. It doesn't work for all liquor bottles, but like if you get like
I think
a
it works
big
here for like
bottle, but
I think here it works for pretty much everything. But
like-
I would assume like if you just had something like that, but for those reusable containers of like, okay, on this bill, we're going to charge you $10. And when you bring them back with you on your next visit, we'll refund the $10. And now just assume you're going to bring those on every trip. If you don't bring them on a trip, then we will charge you it. And when you bring them back on the next one, you'll get a credit on your next bill or something like that.
I feel like this is the ultimate test of like the are you a good person based off of whether or not you put the cart back.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, which is also another weird thing with the grocery stores where I don't know about for you guys, but for us, pre-COVID, a lot of our retailers, you had to use like a quarter or a loonie because we have a thing called a loonie, which is a $1 coin that you put in the cart and it would release the cart. You'd use the cart, and then when you put it back, you get your dollar or your quarter back, whatever it is. They just haven't been using those post-COVID. Like they straight up don't.
Huh.
And I've seen so many more just random grocery carts in the streets because people are dumb and they take them past the boundary of the store. And it is clearly signed saying, if you take this cart past this point, the wheel will lock. And they do it and the wheel locks and then they just abandon it. Like I was at the grocery store yesterday with my mom and she just got a new car and we parked and we come outside and we're near the back because new car, you don't want to park near everybody. Literally, someone took a cart to the edge of the parking lot, the wheel locked, and then they just kind of threw it backwards and it just about hit her car. What? People! People are the worst.
Anyways, National Treasure.
Right. We're talking about a
We
TV
just went
show.
on like a 5-minute tangent about groceries. Oh, that's why you all listen to
You
us.
want TikTok clips. This is how you get TikTok clicks. At
I
D
don't want
plus
to edit
us.
though. You do that part.
Teach me how to do it and I'll do it.
Okay, fine.
And also give me the overlay and all the other stuff I gotta have set up to do it.
Yeah, I generally need to give you that.
I did download an app for doing edits and stuff like that. So I'm
you're
hoping
right.
I can
Hell yeah.
use that
Yeah, you don't
for
have to be the only
this
one that
video
edits.
content. I might just have to like figure out a way to like get it on my phone so I can click it around.
Yeah. Yeah, I have fun ways I'll show you. But no, I want to talk about Elvis.
Oh right, yeah, we're at Graceland in this
I want to
episode.
talk about Elvis because I fucking love Elvis. So, no, I love the way that they used Elvis. They used Graceland within this. Like, what came down to like the props. Like, oh, we're building our planet around like the mobs being on these suits and whatnot, and having like kind of the big moment of like everything going to shit and them having to improvise being Liam's music coming back into play and him performing Suspicious Minds at Graceland.
Which, for any musician needs to be a bucket list item. Is like, I don't care if I get banned for life. Like, if I can play an Elvis song in Graceland, like I've peaked.
Dude, I guarantee that we're going to come back like either next week or the week after or something. If he's going to be performing music at the bar again because he got viral on the internet because of that.
I mean, they very clearly wanted to make a point of you seeing someone live streaming it. I didn't know if that was to get him the bar gig back or if it's how Billy tracks them down or follows their paths to do the things that they're doing. Because I fully expect the next episode we're going to get a short clip of Billy and her team, which is now just her and one other person, going to Graceland and just using some fake credential to steal the record.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they have the clip, so I feel like they are
technically, I feel like there might be. Yeah, I guess you're right. I was wondering if there was more to the record than just that clip, but
like, talking about Billy, I do love the way that they're doing this. It's not the classic adventure story of we're only focusing on the adventurer, and the villain just happens to constantly show up at the worst possible minute. It is no, they're out here searching. They're treasure hunters too. They're doing their thing. They just have a lot of money, and are kind of sortly morally questionable.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder what the twist is going to end up being, other than the one where Ethan obviously betrays the group. There's got to be more to her backstory than just she hunts treasure too, right? There's got to be a reason she's obsessed with this specific treasure in the same way that Jess's parents were, in the same way that Liam's dad was. There's some connection there. Maybe she's an aunt. I don't know.
I think she's related to that Salazar dude.
Yeah, but we don't even know who that is. Well, all we know is he's in prison and he knows the symbol, right?
Dude, we're gonna have a fucking reveal of this guy, and it's gonna be like either some
his
nobody,
dad.
Might be the dad, or it's gonna be like someone from the first movie, like just some random. Oh, never saw that coming.
Well, like even like when the FBI agent is like, oh yeah, no, I took the call about the Declaration of Independence being stolen, and I kind of, brushed it off. I didn't realize that actor was in those movies.
Oh, that's the same actor?
Because my brain is dumb. And I hadn't seen those movies in a minute.
I mean, like, here's the thing. You don't pay attention to that character.
No.
In the movie. Like, it's like, oh, it's a funny bit, and then move on.
Yeah.
That's a cool bringing that dude back for that.
Like, but I like those kind of things are fun. Like, they're not over that. Like, they will be over the head with it when it comes to Riley Poole coming back. But it's just like, other than a cameo from Peter Sandusky, we haven't had a lot of that. We've had references to the series, but we haven't had direct callbacks. And then my brain put two and two together with this guy. I'm like, oh yeah, he was actually in those movies.
Yeah. No, I can't wait for Riley to come back. I still think it's hilarious that Riley has a podcast. Like, it's just kind of perfect.
I mean, that is so Riley.
And like, I say that knowing full well what we're recording right now.
Exactly. He's one of us. He's a weirdo like us.
Look, I know we're horrible for running a podcast, but I don't care. I'm bored.
We enjoy it. That's what matters. Nobody could be listening to this show, and I would still enjoy recording it with you each and every other week when we talk about anything on that Disney Plus streaming service. We'd love to have you on as a guest to talk about your favorite thing or your least favorite thing, or just Avatar because it's Pocahontas with blue people.
We should do it.
Or when we get together weekly to talk about National Treasure and other things that come out eventually.
So, like, here's the difference between us and like people who I will derogatorily say make a podcast. We don't care. Like, we
just have
care,
fun with it.
but we don't. Like, we're here to just chill. And, like, if y'all are listening, like, thanks. But why are you wasting your time with us?
I mean, thank you for spending time with us and not wasting time. Stop scaring away people who
No,
actually
you know what? I'm
listen
going
to
to
this
say,
thing.
if you're listening to us, you have bad taste.
I mean, you brought me on as a co-host. As soon as you did, things just went right downhill. So like,
This just
that's
shows
on
how
you.
much I believe in us. Like, you have
So
bad
this
taste.
this FBI agent is also a voice actor. He was the voice of a parking attendant in GTA 4.
Huh. Neat.
Yeah.
Good for him getting work. No, really, though, I do like this FBI storyline we've got going right now. Like,
I want more of that. Like I know we've got 7 episodes left, but like I want to spend more than 2 to 3 minutes an episode with Billy and that like backstory and the FBI stuff and them unraveling this plot. It feels like we're spending a lot of time with Jess and company, which I understand. You're wanting to build in this, base level of sympathetic response for this group of kids who are trying to solve this treasure because there's other stakes involved, especially with Ethan, revealing Jess's DACA status to Liam and understanding like that whole conversation that she has with Liam at the end, her kind of spilling her guts a bit of people treating her differently when they know of her immigration status. It hits home. Like
but also,
it's got to be so difficult to have to live with that.
just as much, if not more so, the conversation with Ethan when he comes over, it's like, I screwed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And having that moment of like, it really hit me for some reason of, hey, if I'm saying things are okay, things are okay. Like, I know you screwed up, but you know you screwed up and you feel sorry for it. Like, you didn't do this with malicious intent. I know that. But then to have that conversation, I'm like, yeah, when people know major stuff like that, people treat you different. And it was that thing we kind of talked about last week. We put this episode out like 3 days ago. That we talked about it, like, it's a very interesting story to tell alongside all of the normal National Treasure stuff. And it's the perfect tone for this show. Like, I really love that this is at the heart of everything. Like, that's why she was in the car, not really being a part of the heist other than planning it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the basis of everything here. I also loved, like, us getting to see her dad and whatnot. I think it was this episode where they watched the projector.
Yeah, the episode starts where they're watching the projection and it's her mom giving the presentation and her dad coming into to defend her, and then he's recorded over it with the two of them dancing, and it's just like, that's a touching moment. Like, she's never heard her dad's voice before, and this is the first time she's getting to do that. Like, that means a lot to someone. Like, I mean, I can't speak to it having grown up with my parents around, but like, I can only imagine what it must feel like to at her age and everything that she's dealing with. Hearing your dad talk for the first time would be something.
Mm-hmm. It was such a great emotional moment. Like, this show is, I feel like we're not giving this show enough credit all the time. Like, this show is stupid National Treasure bullshit. It is absolutely still that. But it has this other added element of, like, this very human story about this girl trying to figure out who her parents were.
Which is, to your point from earlier, that is the CW-ification of this story.
And not CW-ification
in the best and good way. It's the way that they personify this character and the way that they make you feel for the character is very similar to what you would expect from a CW type show. Of, you have more time to live with these characters, so you have that time to build in a sympathetic response for their situation and their character's history. I just want to understand, like, this doesn't feel like a black and white scenario of Jess and team, good treasure hunters, Billy and team, bad treasure hunters. There's going to be a gray area with Jess's parents, with what Billy has been up to, and even with the FBI and their investigation and what goes on there. And with how involved the DACA plot is, that is also going to be something that's going to come up. The FBI is probably going to threaten deportation at some point in the series because they mention it every goddamn episode.
Not even every episode. They mention it like every 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's one of those things of, I'm curious to see when those lines start to blur a little bit between these 3 different plots, and seeing more of the, there isn't a right and a wrong. Like, I hope they go this route where there isn't really a right or a wrong side to this whole thing, but everyone has their individual motivations that are driving them towards this treasure. And what does that mean? We also didn't talk about the fact that, Billy and crew already have the second box. So it's just both groups trying to get to that third box. So
I mean, I guarantee
there's still a lot of show left, and I'm excited to see what happens.
They're going to do the adventure thing of, like, here's how it's going to go. They're going to get the kids are going to get the third box. Then Billy and crew are going to kidnap them. They're all going to find the treasure. They're going to pull something off that gets rid of Billy at the very end and gets her caught by the FBI. Like, that's just how it's going to go. It is an adventure show. They all go the same way.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, I'm okay with it as long as we have interesting stuff that gets us there. And I think we are. Like, the cool thing to me about Billy is Billy is clearly the antagonist. And Billy is clearly going to be a villain. Billy is not a villain yet.
There will be. I mean, she is. They kidnapped Orin for.
Oh yeah, she's making terrible decisions, but she isn't full like evil
bad guy
yet. Like, she's not.
And they've done that in they did that in the National Treasure movies as well, where you had an antagonist that didn't feel super antagonistic until they took a turn and were like, "No, I've got a gun to your head. Let's do the treasure thing," and that's going to happen here too.
And I feel like they're going to do it better. And the only reason I feel like it's going to be better is because they have the time to set it up better.
And they also have nothing against Nick Cage or the other actors who were in those films, but I feel like it will have a different energy having a female protagonist going up against a female antagonist. There's going to be, and I say this wholeheartedly knowing what I'm saying about myself, you have smarter people as the leads, both on the good side and the bad side, because women are inherently smarter than men.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to see how those plots come together in a way that is smarter than if a man was in that role.
Absolutely. And even aside from that, like, let's be honest here, it's Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah.
Like, that alone.
That's enough.
Like, it's
I know you had that dude from Westworld being the bad guy in I think the second movie, but
dude, the second movie is forgettable. I don't remember anything about the second movie.
I remember they went to Mount Rushmore.
Is that the one where they kidnapped the president?
Yes.
I remember them kidnapping the president, but I don't remember anything else about that movie.
I'm trying to remember Sean Bean was the bad guy in the first one. I should have remembered that. And then the second one was Ed Harris, the dude from Westworld.
Okay. Yeah.
He's been in way more than that, but that's just where I go to. And shout out to Bruce Greenwood, Batman, being the president in that one.
Yeah, right. I remember him being good.
A Batman. He's not the Batman, but he's a Batman.
I mean, the Batman will always and forever be Kevin Conroy.
The fact we're getting Kevin Conroy and the Suicide Squad kill the Justice League makes me so happy.
I am not emotionally prepared for that.
It's a day one purchase just because Kevin Conroy is Batman in that game. Yeah, it was going to be a day one purchase regardless, but
yeah, it instantly jumped up the list. But we're not here to talk about video games. I feel like we should wrap this up. Actually, we've kind of hit on just about everything here. Mitch, you excited for the future of this show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to go to some fun places here. If this is any indication of what they're going to be doing in the future, I cannot wait.
I do hope, though, that we don't get like, oh, okay, this clue led to another clue that leads to another heist. Like, I don't want them to just be like, every other episode is a heist because they have to do that because it's a National Treasure movie. Like, I want it to feel like they took a 2-hour movie and a 2-hour plot and just added context and subplot and character development. And not just, oh, we've got 10 episodes, so 3 of the 10 episodes need to be heists.
Honestly, I feel like that's what they're doing, especially with a heist being this early. I could see them doing a second one. And I would actually love to see them do a second one, and in that second one they get caught. And that's what ties their story in with the FBI story. But that's all in the future. We're all
Did you know that National Treasure Book of Secrets isn't the only time that Bruce Greenwood has played the President of the United States?
Honestly, he seems like the kind of person who would play it in multiple projects. What was the other time?
The other time was another Disney Plus film. It is not, I mean, it's a Fox film that's now owned by Disney, so it's on Disney Plus. Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
Oh, that was not what I was going to guess.
No.
What was the movie about the dude dating the president's daughter?
That
was what I was gonna guess.
Movie of dude dates.
Like, I don't know why that's where my brain immediately went, but I was like, yeah, it's this movie.
My Date with the President's Daughter.
That's seriously the name of it.
Chasing Liberty.
No, I think it was the first one. My Date with the President's Daughter.
Okay, I'm opening it up. IMDb, stop loading so slow. A teenager unwittingly falls for the president's daughter, and the pair soon find themselves on a wild adventure.
Do you not know this movie?
No. Will Friedel's in this?
Yeah.
Huh.
I feel like I've blown Mitch's mind again.
Huh.
It's not a good movie. It's not good at all, but I love it.
Oh, is it Disney? Is this on Disney Plus?
Like, Mitch, this is another Camp Rock situation.
I mean, I've already told you you're watching The Greatest Showman at some point.
Again, I'm down for this. The music's great.
Okay.
And if I can
My Date with the President's Daughter is not on Disney Plus, at least in Canada, but Bluey is, which comes up when I search for date, which is probably weird, but okay, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that is a little bit weird.
All right, let's wrap it.
I don't know. That was an ABC. That was a Disney thing. Okay. Anyways, yeah. Thank you very much for listening. Mitch, where can people find us?
At D plus us, TikTok, YouTube, very important. Go, like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, all the things you can do. It means a lot. Every podcast service you can think of under the sun. I'm going to teach Griffin how we do video on Spotify, because I know that's a thing as well that people can do. That's pretty much it. Any podcast service you want. All the socials are also at D plus us. Griffin's at GriffyDpad, GriffIDPAD on all the platforms. I'm at Mr. Mitch George. That's MR Mitch George. Links at MitchGeorge.com.
Yeah, please let us know what you want to see from us in the future. Specifically, go ahead and do it in those YouTube comments. I'm keeping an eye on those pretty much every day if people pop stuff up. The wonderful, wonderful thing about notifications, right? No, please, though, go check out our YouTube
I
channel.
gotta get those login credentials because I want to see if people are commenting, because I am a whore when it comes to those kinds of things.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to get those to you because I did it a weird way. But
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, go check out the YouTube channel, please. That is the best way to get us. We are going to be eventually making specific YouTube content. I know I'm working on a couple of things just because I get bored and start making videos.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about doing some stuff there in the new year as well, more in the live streaming space. So if you want to head over there and hit the bell and know when new stuff goes up or when I'm live, that would be oh so very much appreciated.
Do I want to take the reigning title of Internet Documentarian for Disney away from Defunctland? No, because Defunctland rocks. Do I want to try to make that kind of stuff? Yes, I do.
Do we want to just try and get the Defunctland folks on for an episode of this show? That would be, a dream. So
yes, but I literally just want to talk about their documentary on FastPass. Go watch the documentary, by the way.
It's so good. Hashtag Defunctland for D plus us.
All right. That's all we got for this week, folks. We will be back next week with more National Treasure Edge of History. But until then, have a magical day.